went out after it. And it was that backstroke leg where he split a 30.8 to the rest of the field's 31 and 32s. That was just Kayla Ely just had it on that breaststroke and freestyle legs there. So that's the beauty of an IM. You kind of get to showcase your skills in every stroke, and it often is the breaststroke leg that separates.
Real toughness. We like to see that at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, where athletes are committing to the race early, but it is the ultimate testing ground, the individual medley. A bit of a change of a speed here, though, as we get ready for our next event. This is one to be excited about. The girls 17 years 100-meter freestyle, and if you look to the program, Alex, that is a whole lot of 55 sitting in the middle pool.
Yeah, it is indeed, and this is an event with such history in Australia. We've had such success on the international stage, and for, I guess, the better part of 10 years, if you were qualified for a relay in this 100-meter freestyle women's, you were almost looking at a gold medal at the World Championships, Commonwealth Games and Olympics. So no wonder the girls are still going fast.
Well, in comparison, you see the Junior Pan Pac qualifying time sitting currently 55.97. That's based on 8th place at last year's World Junior Championships. So we've already had 3 athletes in this event in the heats go under for the 17-year-olds. So that is a classy result for our 17 years girls, and I'm sure they'll be vying for that spot, heading over to Canada later this year to compete at the Junior Pan Pacific Championships. But of course, that is the ultimate goal, to be representing alongside the likes of Molly O'Callaghan.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to aim for the top, the open teams, but the girls are still at a good age here where they can push and get onto these junior teams. It's also always a really good stepping stone to make those junior teams and then try and push for a senior team. This will be a very exciting race.
See who puts their hand up the highest. To get ready here, event 33, girls 17 years, 100-meter freestyle.
Take your marks.
Great start across the pool as we dive into the 2-lap splash and dash. The 100 freestyle, incredibly skillful off the blocks. Jovi Mead of Woy Woy, 55.79 this morning, and it's starting to come through in the middle of the pool.
Yeah, the girls are off to a fly there, and I want to say it's Aisha Ring and Tribeca Liu on that first 50 metres, but in this 100 you do need to just approach the wall with a lot of speed, bounce off it, but it is a blanket field at the moment. Who is out there in lane? It's Lily McPherson that's going to lead them through, and Jodie Mead's right there as well. We said before the race started it was only 0.02 that separated the top 3 swimmers this morning, so expect this one to go down to the wire.
They're showing up here in the second 50. Mead with some work to do as Long leads McPherson now with 15 to swim. It's anyone's race. Ring right in the battle, but here comes Kira Long against Lily McPherson onto the wall. It goes the way of Kira Long, 55.13. A very well-deserved Australian title heading the way of Sopak, 55.13. Unbelievable times there.
That was an incredible time and a fantastic swim there from Kira Long. Wasn't the quickest off the blocks and the quickest to get going, but really paced that 100 well, approached the wall with speed, and she just rocketed through that last 25 metres. But also credit there to McPherson and Jodie Mead, rounding out the top 3, all in 55 seconds and all quicker than this morning. So that is the key as well, to kind of come in the morning and improve on your time.
And as well, 4 girls under that Junior Pan Pac qualifying time, so I think we might have just seen our relay formed. Obviously still have an opportunity ahead for the 18 years and the 16 years and under, but the selectors surely absolutely frothing at the fact that they just had 4 under the time. Welcome to the pool deck, though, our B finalists in the 17 years girls.
Take your marks.
You see all 10 athletes off the blocks cleanly and underway through the first 15. A good start coming once again out of lane 7 this time. Arabella Tomlinson of Caulfield trying to make an imprint through the early stages.
Yeah, we're looking towards the middle of the pool now with Eve Anderson from Bayside. Isabella Morris qualifying fastest for this B final this morning. But Eve Anderson not too far away, and she's showing that early speed, really working that second 25 there. She's rocketed off the wall as well. She's looking long and strong. She's got about half a body length from the rest of the field. And I want to say it's Arabella Tomlinson coming in second, but Sienna Tui in lane 6 now moving forward as well.
Yeah, Tui showing the versatility from the breaststroke now into the sprint freestyle, crawling up alongside Anderson as they come down with 15 meters to go. The whole field really lifting, but it still is Anderson narrowly in front and touching the wall there. 57.36 to claim the B final. And the girls 17 years, 100-meter freestyle. A quick smile to the camera, happy with that one. Out 27.3, back 30.0. A good swim, thumbs up.
Yeah, cracking swim there from Eve Anderson, and really dropped the hammer kind of that second 25 and made a statement saying, I'm going to take this race on. And that's what you love to see in 100. Someone putting their hand up pretty early and holding on and getting that win. So really good swim there.
So recapping the results, Eve Anderson takes it out in the B final. 53.36. The field coming really hard towards the end of that race. Ultimately, Casey Curtis rounding out the field. As we now welcome out another A final, another title. About to be joined on the commentary box by Emily Seaborn and Matt Welsh. Pull us through the next couple of races. But for now, we keep our attention on the pool deck as we have our 18 years welcoming themselves to their blocks. Ainsley Trotter, the junior world champion in the 50 backstroke from last year's junior world championships, swims from 4 here for Bond. They have a fantastic sprint freestyle program.
Yeah, they do indeed. Obviously, we've got big Flynn South, and who's been making some big strides over the last couple of years. So they know how to swim that freestyle, even from the earlier days as well, when they had Cam McAvoy in 2016 swimming that 47.0. So coaches over there know how to train it. We can expect a pretty good race tonight. We've got Ainsley Trotter in the middle, Costet Cook in lane 3, both with the 56s and 57 lows. So we did see the 17-year-old girls go 55 lows. So that'll be the benchmark if they want to make that junior Pan Pac team.
And Trotter, one of those athletes now trying to make that transition into some Australia A, some senior teams as well. So this is a very important stepping stone. Not just about competing at your last age group championship, really trying to leave a mark on what the meet means.
Yeah, absolutely. You really want to work your last couple of age group championships. They're so fun, they're so competitive. It's a little bit relaxed. When you get to that open, there's a little bit more pressure involved. So just enjoy the moment.
Let's see how they enjoy it now. They hit the blocks.
Take your marks.
Off and underway is the 18 years 100-meter freestyle final. You can see Trotter and Jackson really maximizing the time underwater. The Bond cap so synonymous with lane 4 in the 100 freestyle, starting to break through in the middle of the pool, but not having it her own way as they go to the turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was Audrey Jackson off the blocks there, but now it is Ainsley Trotter in the middle of the pool, looking really nice and long, trying to break away there. I'm even looking over to lane 9. Kayla Pratt had a fantastic first 50. She will turn third place. Ainsley Trotter second. Costet Cook leading the charge, and it will be the girl from Bond in the middle of the pool. Ainsley Trotter trying to drop the hammer a little bit now.
What a turn it was from Trotter. She's kicked away, as you've called it, Alex, and that's exactly the way it's going to sit all the way to the wall. There's a charge coming from Paige Carey, but it's going to be too little too late as the title goes the way of Ainsley Trotter. 56.51 the time on the wall, 56.99 for Paige Carey in second there for Cairns. They are absolutely living it up tonight, the Cairns Stingrays. You can see Cassette Cook in the top 3 as well for Bond. So Bond split the podium with a Stingray in the middle. A fantastic result for Trotter as we watch back here. Really use that turn here so fast through, transitioning. That's a perfect 100 freestyle.
It is indeed, and you'd expect her to have pretty solid underwaters, obviously favouring that backstroke stroke, which is so dominated by those underwaters where you can go right up to the 15-metre mark. So yeah, really work that off the start and off the wall there. Look, a little bit behind the girls, the 17-year-old girls, but we'll see what the selectors do with that junior Pan Pac team. But that is a national title for Ainsley Trotter.
Can't discredit that. No one can ever take a national title off you. So well done to Trotter, taking another title after taking the 50 back on night 1. To the blocks now, though, it is our B finalist in the girls 100 freestyle, 18 years.
Take your marks.
So they hit the water, 9 lanes filled here as we have Mooney out in lane 8 for Caulfield. Swimming from lane 3, Leanne Buscher with a great start, and 4 starting to move through as well, which is Lacey Camprad.
Yeah, and Lacey Camprad got the bond cap on there. So 3 girls in that 18 years in the top 16 or 20. That is fantastic effort there from the bond squad. But it is Ava McLean that's coming up to the shoulder of Lacey Camprad now. We'll see who's got the better turn here. Just working the underwaters a little bit better, Ava McLean, as she's moving forward now. Lacey Camprad not going anywhere just yet. As we're coming down to the last final metres, the girls might be looking at each other here. We'll see who's got the legs.
You can see that incredible turn is transferred here for McLean, as called through. Brisbane Grammar represented in 5, and the momentum is going to get her to the wall in first. She comes down to stop the clock, 57.81. Camprad in second. Gabrielle King rounding out the top 3 there for Canberra Grammar. But McLean happy with that one, 57.81. Absolutely stoked. Big smile across the pool. That rounds out event 33. The girls 17-18 years 100-meter freestyle. We do have the results shown on the screen there as we welcome in to the commentary booth both Emily Seabon and Matt Welsh.
Let's go, Welshie. Some great racing already happened and so much more still to come. We can't wait to call it with you. As we look at the next event on the program, this is your boys' 15 years of 400 individual medley. We have some great names in this already. Labara, he was your gold medalist in the 800 free. Thomas Bridie was second in that 800 free. So those distance boys are very strong in this 400 IM, but we've seen that it really comes down sometimes to that breaststroke leg and getting a great breaststroke leg. And do you save yourself in the first half to really push that breaststroke if you're not a breaststroker?
Yeah, we're getting changes in... welcome, Em, I should say. Hello and welcome into the commentary. But we're getting changes, I guess differences of time of up to 5 or more seconds in that breaststroke leg. It's incredible what difference that makes. So that's the one to look for in this 400 individual medley. Our 15-year-olds up first. So all the swimmers being presented to the crowd and plenty of support from their teammates, coaches, family and friends.
Take your marks.
So often racing the 400 metres individual medley. It seems like a contradiction in terms, trying to do easy butterfly, but it's exactly what they're trying to do. Looking really nice is Andre Labara in lane 4. Thomas Bridie also looking good. He had a fantastic swim this morning. It's Labara through first, 28.55. Ison second through. And a very strong butterfly leg. Trying to manage the energy through this part is tricky to do, and Charlie Potts over in 1 really making hay while the sun is shining. In fact, it's not shining. The cooler night has really brought in some great results here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, and now into the backstroke, and not having to contend with that bright sun from this morning. We should see some quick times.
This morning, Labara went out in that 1:01.40, so almost a second faster in that butterfly with that 0061. He's looking like he's really settled into his backstroke leg. Charlie Potts still in that 3rd position, but slowly just fading into the rest of the field there, as Ison is in that 2nd position, but ever so slightly as those boys are starting to catch him, with Schneider's there right next to him in lane 6. But Labara doing a great job of working quite intensely this backstroke leg.
Yeah, he's really putting his foot down on the pedal. We're not quite halfway through the race. The rating is very high. You look at him in comparison to Ison next to him, and even in the corner of your screen, Bridie and Cole, that rating's a good 30% higher and that potentially is 30% more energy used. So he's got a good lead from it, though. It might be worthwhile investment into his leg. Now into the breaststroke, 2:07.39. He has a gap around 2.5 seconds to Ison, but then a big 11-second gap to Thomas Bridie. Now we know Thomas Bridie is going to have a strong breaststroke. Snyder's in 2:12.10. Matthew Cole with a 2:15.5 in fourth. And Velasquez, a 2:15.66 in fifth. So that gap, he's done a fantastic job. It was about 2.5 seconds. He's extended that lead over Ison. Snyder's still second. They really haven't made much of a dent on him. So Labara really in control of this race. I expected to see some of these breaststrokers come back at him, but they just haven't. He is really performing incredibly well. This is a lead as he goes into the freestyle that I just can't see anyone catching.
No, he was about 3 seconds quicker at the 200-metre mark, so had a great backstroke leg tonight as he heads into that freestyle leg in that 3:22.62. Be nice to see how close he could get to that Australian record at that 4:27.3 this morning. He sat at that 4:28. The boys were about 10 seconds off of him, and he's doing the same thing tonight as he powers through in that freestyle leg. He's coming up to the last 50 metres to come, and he's really flying through the water here in this freestyle leg. He's definitely not going to let anyone take over this lead. Ison holding strong in that second position, and Bridie in 3 holding on for that third position as they come down to 35 metres left to swim. Labara on fire.
He really is. He's heading for a time around 4:23 or thereabouts, maybe 4:22. The Australian record, Lenny Grigor, is at 4:20. He's only going to be a couple of seconds off that. So down to the flag, there it is, 4:19, 4:20. It ended up being a 4:22.01. That's a fantastic swim. Absolutely owned it from the get-go. Ison in for second, 4:31.95. A good 9 seconds after. Bridie in third, 4:35.65. Snyder's in fourth. Cole in fifth. Kalaki and Velasquez with a nice little battle at the end, with Kalaki getting sixth, Velasquez in seventh. Potts in for eighth.
Labara, what a swim that was. A 4:22.01, just 2 seconds outside that Australian record. There's just really not much in it at all. It was fantastic to see him really extend on that backstroke here tonight. Really excelled, really pushed through. That breaststroke was super strong in that freestyle. He was just able to hold on and extend that lead from the rest of the field.
Yeah,
he will take your gold medal, Ison in your silver medal, and Bridie with the bronze is your age champion right there. Andre Labara, a name to watch in the future. Only 15 years old.
Really is a name to watch in the future. He really dominated that. I don't think I could count a weak leg in that, you know. He really took the flight. The backstroke was excellent.
The backstroke was beautiful.
The breaststroke, he dominated. Like, he was the fastest breaststroker in the field. He was doing 37s, most of the others doing 40s. Yeah, that was quite extraordinary for the 13 years.
15 years.
15 years,
You're
sorry.
a little bit behind there.
It would be very extraordinary for the 13 years. 15 years, the 16 years now. Isaac Wearing there in lane 9.
Fresh off an Australian record from last night.
And his brother, Lincoln, in 6.
Also, Lenny Grigor was your Australian record holder in the 15 years. So we know he will be on fire tonight in this 400 IM. And I think it helps having that younger age group before. Really spurs the older boys on to make sure that they can try and beat those boys and better that younger age group. Tough field out there tonight. You can't count out Thorpe out of lane number 1. Wearing will be very strong in lane 6, Lincoln Wearing. Isaac Wearing in lane 9. It really could come down to anyone in this field. I wonder if someone will really push out in front in that fly-in back and be able to hold on through that breaststroke.
Take your marks.
In the water for the boys, 16 years, 400 metres individual medley. And we know we're going to have a big battle on our hands. Lenny Grigor is technically the title holder. He won this age group last year. And he takes them out to a marginal lead. It's only 50 metres into the race, but this is a great position to be in. He touches first at 27.40, only a hundredth of a second back to Baxter in 27.41. Third through was Van Leeuwen. So trying to find that nice easy speed at the start of this 400 IM. We expect a few of these swimmers to really come back in the breaststroke, but Lenny Grigor is no slouch himself, and if he's got a strong lead leading into the breaststroke, he's going to be very, very tough to beat.
I thought both those turns there from Grigor and Baxter quite long on that butterfly finish into that backstroke leg. As they head in now, their backstroke. And Lick of lane 3 doing a strong backstroke leg now, trying to take over from Grigor out in front in lane 4. Lee in 2 looking very strong moving through that backstroke leg. We can see Pang Wearing on the end of the screen there, but Baxter still holding on in that third position currently as they come through that turn. 132.24, 132.42, and Baxter in that 133.50. So not much in it, but you can see Gregor's caught on that lane rope there, Welshie, and he's really moving that to the side.
Yeah, he is. Van Leeuwen there going that previous 50 metres backstroke. The first 50 back, he was 1 second quicker than Grigor, so that's where he made up the time. Grigor's responded, now going down into the breaststroke, and Grigor with a slightly faster backstroke in that second 50. So it's almost like the devil and the angel on the shoulder. The devil wants you to go faster, the angel's trying to hold you back and conserve energy, and you've got to sit right on that knife edge the whole way.
Lee's moved into that third position currently, but Pang in 5 is making a nice move in this breaststroke leg. Grigor has moved away from Van Leeuwen there, right next to him in lane number 3, and really extending on this lead now. Turns to win that 2:39.14. That 2:43.13 for Van Leeuwen, and Pang has taken that third position over Baxter, and then Lee in that 6th position.
Yeah, I think it was Pang this morning who gained about 5 seconds on the field during this 100 breaststroke, but he's going to need to triple that. The lead that Lenny Grigor has managed to get, you can see it there on the screen, that's a good 10 to 15 metres. And it's going to be pretty hard to catch as Grigor goes into the freestyle now, from the slower stroke to the fastest. And he would be absolutely hurting in every muscle of his body, but it's not going to slow him down at all. The Australian record is 4:20.48. He's absolutely on track for this. If he can hold to 30 seconds, so 30-second here, 30-second in the second, he's on track to absolutely annihilate that swim. He's done the first one. He's gone a 30.2. He potentially could even go a 29. But this could be an Australian record by a good 5 seconds.
He is dominating this freestyle as he's coming down to the last 25 metres. He is really powering through that water. That 4:20 is, I'm going to call it, I reckon it's going to be broken easy. He's flying to the wall in a time of 4:16.15. A massive Australian record for Lenny Grigor there in that 400 IM. Van Leeuwen in that second touch, 4:22.85, and Pang Pang disqualified,
Yes.
but Wearing in that third position, 4:24.72. Lenny Grigor, your Australian record holder. Lenny Grigor, what a swim that was. 4:16.15. Van Leeuwen in your silver medal, 4:22.85. And Lincoln Wearing, fresh off the 800 Australian record in a bronze medal, that 4:24.72. What a swim that was. What a record that has been absolutely smashed by Lenny Grigor. Still watching that replay, and it was absolutely on fire. That last leg, he flew through in that 30.24 and 30.73. To have that much left in the tank on a 400 IM, just outstanding to see that swim. Lenny Grigor taking home another Australian record. He has the 15-year-old Australian record, and now he has the 16-year-old Australian record. And a fantastic swim here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. Those results are official on your screen. Your gold, silver and bronze medalist and your age champion and Australian record holder, Lenny Grigor. Just waiting for those boys to get out of the pool so we can get an interview with our new Australian record holder. Absolutely shattered Mitch Larkin's record from 2010, that 4:24.8. Absolutely blew it out the water with that 4:16.15. And Matt has him on pool deck right now.
Absolutely incredible swim, Lenny. I think it took you a second to realise the time that you were done. Did you think you were on song to get that? A 4:20, you annihilated it.
Yeah, honestly not. For the first 200, I didn't really feel like I was on pace for a 4:16, but then I kind of got to the breaststroke leg and felt I actually had more energy than I thought, and was able to carry that onto the freestyle.
Well, it's always hard to sort of, you want to do that easy butterfly at the start, but you seem to get that lead. The backstroke did look like you attacked it quite well, but like you said, in the breaststroke, no one was going to catch you. You had the fastest breaststroke in the field, and you must have felt it.
Yeah, well, I never try and push that backstroke too hard, as it isn't my strongest suit, and the breaststroke is obviously my best stroke, so I try and use that more than the others.
Well, absolutely worked tonight. Annihilated. I hope that record stands for many, many, many years, because I can't see anyone breaking that anytime soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Lenny Grigor, your Australian champion and new Australian record holder. What a swim that was. And I can't believe he said that the breaststroke is his best leg, because I honestly thought he absolutely smashed that backstroke. He looked super strong in that, but the whole thing was enough to shatter, I would say shatter, the Australian record.
It's all relative, isn't it, I guess? You know, his backstroke's probably better than most, but you know, he feels a lot more confident in that breaststroke and competes a lot more in it. But, I mean, I have to admit, I had to double-check. We were both double-checking that record, thinking, he's going to absolutely kill it. He's easily going to go under it. And you sort of start to think, is it not correct? Because we don't see records like that being broken by that much. It's a tenth of a second here, maybe half a second if you're lucky. In a big race like that, yeah, it might be a second or two, but not 4.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
Fantastic to watch if you were here or you were watching on Nine's coverage, but what a swim that was. But we move on to the next event on the program. This is your girls 15 years 200-metre freestyle A final, and we're up for another exciting race. Ava Hogan there, your fastest qualifier from this morning, 2:04.24, but not much in it with Thompson and Jeffs right next to her, both sitting at that 2:04 mark. So it'll be quite the battle from the middle of the field. But it really could come down to anyone out there All these lanes have the exact same chance to do an exciting time tonight here in this final.
Yeah, I know a number of these girls, this is their first night swim under the lights here, and they'll be super excited.
Take your marks.
So we're off in the girls' 15 years 200 metres freestyle final. So this is for the Championship of Australia. Ava Hogan looking good in lane 4. Right next to her, Kira Jeffs. Is the two of them having a nice little battle. In fact, both breathing to the right. And Kira Jeffs is keeping an eye on Ava Hogan. So looking good also is Bertinato down in 3. So Ava Hogan goes through first, only 6/100ths of a second in front of Kira Jeffs. Bertinato in 3rd. Trong 4th. Thompson 5th. Wyeth in 6th. So a lot of these girls are really trying to push hard in this early stage, but it's Jeffs and Hogan. Already it's starting to look like a race of 2. It was 6/100ths of a second at the 50. It's 3/100ths of a second at the 100. 59.32 versus 59.35. Bertinato still holding on to 3rd. And Thompson in for 4th. So this is the 50 that we keep talking about. This is the 50 where they really have got to push it.
They've done a good job, those top 2 girls. Hogan and Jeffs having a great battle with each other. Hogan taking the lead a little bit more now as they come down to that last 50, and so strong between them. But look at that battle for that 3rd position currently with Thompson, Weave and Bertinato there in lane 7. They're all battling it out now to try and get up on that leader. But we can see Hogan holding strong. Jeffs still in that 2nd position. Thompson fighting for that 3rd position now as the battle comes the last 15 metres. Hogan still holding strong here. She comes down under the flags. She will get her hand on the wall first in that 2:02.20 in front of Jeffs at 2:02.53, and Thompson with a 3rd touch on the wall, that 2:03.18.
Well, a 2-minute, 2-second swim for Ava Hogan and for Kira Jeffs. That is fantastic to see from our 15-year-olds. I really thought that you called that battle for 3rd. I thought that was going to be a battle for even 1st at one stage. Those girls were coming at them with so much speed. Thompson in for 3rd, a 2:03.1. Wyeth, a 2:03.9. And only 3/100ths of a second back, Bertinato. So 2 girls in the 2:02, 2 and 2:03. And a fantastic swim from your newest national champion, Ava Hogan. So results are official.
Hogan will take your gold medal. Jeffs will take the silver, and Thompson with the bronze. And what a great battle that was. Great to see Jeffs go out there with Hogan. She just fell off on that 3rd 50, but she seemed to come home really powerful in that last 50. As we move along to the next event on the program, this is your 16-year-old girls 200-metre freestyle final. And we can't wait to see the battle from Potter here in lane 4, Snyder's in 5, McClellan in 3. It's going to be a strong battle. Again, I reckon this will come down to the middle of the pool.
Yeah, the fastest qualifiers with 2:03s going through to 2:04s, 5s and 6s. So still not a lot between the field, but we know that Anouk Potter, Snyder's, McClellan and Denko have just got that little bit more in the tank. They probably just pushed it to that 90-95% in the heats this morning. They've got a little bit left for the final. They didn't have to stress too much about it, but they've still got to do it. It was one of my preferred methods of swimming a heat swim is swim a percentage of that race the way that I wanted to swim it at night, and then you can shut down a little bit towards the end rather than swimming the whole thing at 90%. So hopefully they've been working on that pacing and know how to go out tonight. They get it right. We should see some more fast times.
Take your marks.
In the water, the 16-year-olds for the 200 metres freestyle. Great battle for the 15s. And we're set up for another great battle here, the 16-year-olds. Our fastest qualifier, Anouk Potter, with, want to call an early lead. It's only marginal out in front. And you can see her there just very easily taking up this first 50. Schneider's, though, in that second 25. Really got a good margin on Potter. About 0.3 leading them through at the 50. Third through is Lawson, then McClellan and Erdenko. So Schneider's second fastest qualifier from this morning, but there was only half a second between them. We know how important the pacing is, and Schneider's trying to break them early. There's two things that can happen when you try and do this. One, you do break them and you get away. Two is you encourage them to go after you. And this important third 50, I think a few of the girls are going to respond and really go out after it. So here comes Potter, here comes McClellan. Erdenko, Lawson want a bit of the action too, but it will be McClellan, Potter and Schneiders pushing each other to this 150 metre mark. Olivia Galley out in lane 2. She's gone with them. And if anyone, it's Eloise McClellan who's got the best of that third 50. She goes in with a lead of around a second. And with 50 metres to swim, the momentum is on her side. Schneider's doing everything she can to hold on, but it's Potter and McClellan swimming away.
McClellan doing a great job of the final 25 metres. She is flying through here, but now Potter is trying to make a move in the last 15 metres to go, but McClellan's holding on to that lead ever so slightly, but it looks like her rate's dropped and Potter's taken over the lead, and she does. She touches the wall in that 2:01.97 in front of McClellan there in that 2:02.26, and Galea there with that third touch on that wall, that 2:04.49. Potter, great swim in that 200. She really came through on that last 50. She only took over the lead with about 10 metres left to swim.
Oh, I would say less. I would say under the flags it was almost a dead heat. So Potter with the momentum on her side, and there is very little. There's a third of a second between Potter and McClellan, but there's light and day between a 2:01 and a 2:02. Isn't it funny that she swam a 2:01, McClellan just swam a 2:02, as we can see in the results, and then third was a 2:04. So it was Potter and McClellan taking them away, and the great reaction from Potter at the end of the race then. Their mouth open. Oh, I did it, did I? It was very refreshing, I think. She just had her head down, was concentrating on getting to the wall, didn't even think about where she was placed. And she's come away with the gold medal.
It was good to see McClellan really go after it in that third 50. She really tried to push, but she just didn't have enough at the end. So Potter with your gold medal, McClellan takes home the silver, and Galea with the bronze. As we move along to the next event on the program, the boys 13 years 100 metres butterfly. And this will be an exciting race. We only had one boy this morning in that sub-minute, but let's see if we can get some more boys under that sub-minute tonight.
He'll be filled with confidence after being the only one under, and under well. He was a second clear, more than a second clear of his closest rival. So Lewis Jewell from the city of Sydney, 59.11. And Aris Ferraziz from Trinity Grammar, 10014. 10017, Jake Tobin. So very close margins here going into the final, but got to be filled with confidence. Putting that in perspective, so most of these boys around that 1 minute mark. The 13 years Australian record held by the great King Kyle Chalmers, set in 2012, was a 55.9.
Crazy.
That is a very swift time for anyone, let alone a 13-year-old boy. He's probably a full-grown man at 13.
Take your marks.
Seeing the size of him now. Quick start there from Jewell in lane 4. His cap was the first to head out into the water, and he's used that quick reaction to get an early lead. Also looking good, William Kerr out in 1. He's trying to get in front. Also Evan Neum But it really is Lewis Jewell, rather, in lane 4. So second through Jake Tobin, third through Aris Ferraziz.
Jewel just really dominating this 100 metres butterfly. We knew he was going to be strong. He won the 200 freestyle the other night, so he is powering through in this butterfly, extending on that lead. That battle is coming for that second, third position currently, but Jewel will take it, and we'll just have to see what time he can produce. And he hits the wall in that 58.00, a fantastic swim for Lewis Jewell there to take out that 100-metre butterfly. And he's pretty happy with that, Welshie.
He really is. I mean, he can now say he's a 58 swimmer. It's just almost a shame it wasn't 1/100th faster. He could call himself a 57 swimmer. But not often do we get a time on the wall in the double O's. And a very nice swim. So went out, in fact, he went out in a 27.00, came back in a 31.00 to finish in a 58.00. So it was a very clean swim from him. Ferris is in for second, 59.44. So good to see the top 5 underneath the minute, as you said. And then Pepperdine, Truman, Kerr bringing up the 6th, 7th and 8th. Kim in for 5th. So great work there in the A final. We're into the B final now. So top 10 swimmers from this morning into the A final. Next 10 into the B final. And it's a chance for our next generation of 13-year-olds to have another opportunity to better their time from this morning.
And really not much in it. 102.16 was your fastest qualifier, and 103.66 your slowest.
Yeah, some of these swimmers missed out on that A final by fingernail width, hundredths of a second. So some real class in this B final. And going for honours in the middle of the pool, Billy Mayne has followed the book of Lewis Jewell from before and has tried to really take them out. And as they're coming down to this second 50, Chris Song, we saw him with a very strong swim this morning. He's coming on hard. He's really trying to bring home this second 50. I'm not sure if he's going to catch Billy Mayne, but he's right in there with a place. Thea Porto has pushed very, very hard in this second 50. He's probably the next closest to Billy in the middle. It's not going to come down to the touch, but it's going to be a lot closer than we thought. He gets there by 0.2 of a second. So Billy Mayne in front of Porter. Max Bailey comes up. Chris Song holds on for 5th. Zhao in for 4th. And just that little bit faster this morning. We love that progression.
And a great battle for those boys in those middle lanes there. Billy Mayne taking out that B funnel in that 101.35, 101.55 for Porter, and Bailey 101.97. So great job from that beefer. As we have a look at the next event on the program, it's your boys 14 years, 100 metres butterfly A final. We see some big names in there that have done massive programs already. We've got Xavier Tay, he was second in that 100 metres back. You got Jacob Deere, he was second in the 400 IM. Thomas Penny, he was third in the 200 free and won the 400 IM. So really, there's some strong boys out there. Ishmael in lane 4, he was second in that 200 free. So we'll see quite a battle in this 100 butterfly now.
Well, we saw a very fast time, 58.00 from the 13-year-old boys. Fastest time, 57.10. We'll see how much quicker they can go. The Australian record, again, by King Kyle, a 54.79. So about a second quicker than he did as a 13-year-old. Again, that nice progression. But the 100 butterfly, you've got to really balance your speed. The general rule of swimming 100 butterfly fast is to back end it. You really need to make sure you save yourself for the second 50. And it's almost how, speaking of King Kyle, how he swims the 100 freestyle, really back ending it. and potentially learning and practicing it here in the 100 fly. But it's about trying to get out quick, light, easy, and then really motor home, because if you fatigue yourself too much in the first 50, the stroke pretty much will fall apart on the way back. So you've really got to manage yourself.
Take your marks.
With a big whoop there into the water. Long way underwater there. Beautiful work from your swimmer in lane 4, Ishak Ismail. So Surrey Park swimmer with a good reaction off the block and great skills underwater. He's really thrown the challenge out to the rest of the field with coming up to a body length. That is a beautiful long stroke, very efficient as he turns in a 26.16. Second through a 27.00, Bradley Honour. In fact, tied with Pilbeam up in lane 1. Fourth through was Xavier Tay next to him. But it really is a swim of one, with Ismail absolutely dominating the first 50 and killing the second. He's coming down to 5 to go. He's using his long arms, one stroke onto the wall. He touches in a 55.91. Fantastic swim. 55.91. If you can't see the board there, Ishak, as he and Tay celebrate their gold and silver. Bradley Honour comes in for third with a 57.25.
And all of those boys under the 59 barrier too tonight in that final. So a fantastic tight final of racing there. Ismail dominating in that 55.91 to be your Australian champion. Xavier Tay there will take that second position, that 56.60. Honour will take your silver medal because of our visitor, so 57.25. And Deer there in that fourth position will take the bronze in that 57.90. So what a race that was. Absolutely cracking time, 55.91, but that record, 54.79. Very, very fast from Kyle Chalmers, but Ismail very close to that marker now.
Yeah, fantastic swimming already tonight. You can see these swimmers getting ready for what's coming up. They're having a quick little break. It's time for us to have a break as well. Straight after this, we've got the boys' 14 years B final. And then the girls' 13 years 50 metres breaststroke. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the Australian Age National Championships here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre, live on 9 Now.
Thanks for watching the continued coverage here of the 2026 Australian Age Championships on the wide world of sports as we get ready for our B final in the boys 14 years 100 metre butterfly. On the commentary panel now is Will Rollo and joined by Alex Graham. Alex, the B final here, a perfect opportunity for these athletes to get some experience racing under the lights.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Will, and that is the benefit of having these B finals, is maybe something didn't quite go right in the morning and you've just missed out, or it's an extremely competitive event. You do get to come back and test your skills and try and execute something that you were trying to do in the morning.
Jacob Semenchkin in lane number 4, 59.71. 3 athletes under the minute. Let's see how they line up this evening. The B final now in the water. You can see a great start from Nemeth Ford of Marion in 5. So it was Cranbrooks, Taylor, Semenchkin and Nemeth Ford, the 3 athletes under the minute mark. And we'll see who else can join them this evening.
Yeah, it looks like it's Sheminkin in lane 4 leading the charge early. Looking nice and comfortable. Bodies look sitting on high on top of the water as they approach that first 50. And it will be Jacob Sheminkin, 27.1. As you said, Will, 3 under the minute mark this morning. Let's see how many of these boys can get even further under the minute or even break that 1 minute barrier themselves.
He's gone out with serious intent, has Semenchkin in lane 4 for New Sim. He's coming back to the field slightly. Nemeth Ford leading the charge alongside Engel out in 7. It's going to be all the way to the wall here. Semenchkin holding on slightly. And he hits the wall first, 58.68. A host of athletes under that minute mark this evening. 6 of them, in fact, with Taylor rounding out the field out of lane 3, the 59.87. Double O, 44 for Cooper Scott in for 8. So a good swim, and that's exactly why we love seeing these B finals on the program.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And fantastic to get those fellas under 59, let alone the 60 seconds, and heaps in that 59 range as well. So great effort from everyone involved to be able to come in the morning. Maybe it didn't go to plan, or you wanted to be a little bit quicker, or you missed up your turn, or you missed up your start. The B final is an opportunity to come in, execute again, and get that race practice and get those reps on the board. So fantastic time drops, a lot. There was only 3 under the minute this morning, and then we had, 6 under the minute the start tonight. So really good effort from the boys involved, and yeah, getting right down there, 58 seconds. So good job of the 14-year-olds.
Keep the speed nice and high, though, as we welcome out our next final for this evening. This will be the girls 13-14 years 50-metre breaststroke on the screen now. The 13 years girls A final. They'll be competing here for another national title. It was exceptionally close this morning. Just 0.6 of a second separating lane 4 through lane 9. So expect some more fireworks, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. Really tight, and that's kind of what you expect in a 50, is those really close races. Especially as you move up into the open, sometimes it can be a whole pool separated by 0.3 of a second. So expect it to be a close one tonight. Anna Munzarova with a 34.44, Emily Crotado with a 34.5, and Isla Hands 34.52. So really close for that national final, racing for those medals.
Carlisle have had a fantastic meet thus far. They lead the overall point score for the clubs. 2 nights in, they've got just under 40 points, or just over 40 points, in fact, to Knox Pymble. Currently 585 for Carlisle, 544 for Knox Pymble. Both very strong clubs, but Carlisle with another opportunity here in lane 4.
Yeah, they're looking good, the Carlisle club, and really strong showing to get up on those points. That's what they fight for, all these clubs in Australia, to be the #1 club in those age groups.
So let's see what Munzarova has in store for her club and the rest of the field for the national title as well. Away strongly across the field as they go through their underwater, splitting the best of them. Looks to be Tarrant out in lane 8. The field now lifting, though. Can Somerset hold them off through Tarrant? We can see the lift coming through Guthrie. St. Peter's Western in lane 6. Up on the top of the screen as well, Demamniel of Korowa looking to take the lead. Now comes Hands and Munzarova in the middle of the pool. As we come with 10 to go, you can still see Guthrie leading the charge out of lane 6. Can she get on the Hands? No, Hands gets there. 34.01. 34.10 gets second, and Guthrie in third, but it was Munzarova on that final stroke.
Yeah, that was fantastic effort there from the middle of the pool. And we said that race was going to be close, and it did not disappoint. 34.01 was first, 34.10 was second, and 34.17. So that was all in the touch. It's so important to nail those skills. Munzarova nailed that finish there, and she will walk away with that national title.
Very happy Carlisle athlete. That point score increases once again here, this time coming in the form of the girls' 13 years 50 breaststroke. We wait for the results to become official. See that bright orange Carlisle cap from anywhere in the pool, especially when it's swimming in lane 4. We've seen that distance program really stand up at this age championships, and Munzarova showing that the sprinters can do it just as well. There is the official results. The gold medal going the way of Munzarova in lane 4. Almost a script. Lane 4, 5 and 6 taking the win as we look to the blocks for the B final.
Yeah, very exciting. Great opportunity again to get your hands on the wall for the B finalists. They would have watched that in anticipation and excitement and said, maybe I'll stand up and be able to do this. So the girls are on the block now.
Take your marks.
And the girls' B final are off and racing. Some really long underwaters there, but I'm looking towards the middle of the pool. Molly Evans in lane 6. Alexander Henkener out in lane 8. Really strong start and moving through that first 25 metres nicely. But here comes the rest of the field now. Tatum Haggerty, Molly Evans, Lulu Goddison, Allegra Henderson. Everyone's starting to move up now. This is going to be a blanket finish. I'm also looking at Malaya Gannon out in lane 2. But it's going to be Alexandra Henker. Get your hand on the wall. Haggerty out in lane 7. 34.71, so very swift. Great time drops from this morning. Really fantastic. A lot of the girls in that A final were 34 seconds as well. So fantastic time drop from Tatum Haggerty. And she will get the first place in that B final. The results are now official. Malaya Gannon, 34.8. Anis Wu, 35.17. And well, as we mentioned, the B finals, good opportunity to drop some time. And a lot of those girls dropped up their time from this morning. And even Tatum dropped almost about a second in that from this morning. So fantastic effort there.
Well, there's always a debate on which is the harder event, the sprints or the distance events. But if those two heats are anything to go by, there's no doubt that the hardest event to call for the commentators, in fact, the 50 breaststroke. Nice and tight all the way through. The good news for spectators around the world that tuning in via Nine's Wide World of Sports. Of course, we still have 2 more 50 breaststrokes to come, including this one now, as we meet our A finalists in the girls' 14 years 50-metre breaststroke. The record sitting for this, 31.54, Sienna Tui. She did that last year as she was getting ready to make her Australian Dolphins debut. So that mark might take a while to break, but the opportunity here, Lucy Ma leads the way alongside Jessica Daly. They were split this morning, 33-1-2.
Yeah, another close one. Lots of 33s out of this morning's heats, a few 34s. That mark from Sienna Tui, 31.5, is very impressive. We saw her go a 30 point earlier this week, or late last week for the Open Championships, so that was fantastic to see, but it's also a good representation of where the girls can get to. You know, you see these records up there and you see these swimmers live in action. It's really inspiring, and it's a good way to set some goals for themselves as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure a few of these athletes have been looking at the progression of the likes of Tui McKinder as well, as the 18-year-old that sort of led the charge. Olympia Pope up there as a great youngster. We'll see them race this 50 later on in the week. For now, though, the opportunity sits with the 14-year-olds as they look down the pool. A national title sitting at the end of this one lap of breaststroke. Change in approach out there for Chloe Zhang in lane 1, just deciding to jump on the other side of the blocks. See how it works out for her. They head off now. This is the 14 years 50-metre breaststroke final. Great start coming from Lucy Ma, really maximising her time underwater. Transitioning well, though, it is Jessica Daly out of lane 5. So Daly and Ma looked the cream of the crop this morning, hence why they're in the middle. But pushing now is Pachura out in lane 3. So as we come down with 15 metres to swim, it could be lane 6 as well. That looks like Mello also in 7. Daly, Ma, Mello, and Pachura on the wall. It goes the way of Lucy Ma. 32.70. 7-0. 32.71. Pachura really making us work this evening. Just 0.01 separating the top two. 32.97 rounding out the top 3. An electric 14 years girls 50-meter breaststroke. We get confirmation now of the results.
That was electric, wasn't it? And it's been amazing. The last 3 breaststroke races have been separated by such small margins, and that is no different. Lucy Ma just nailing that finish. They're oh so important in the breaststroke and the butterfly races. You got to touch with those 2 hands on the wall. It's all about timing. It's all about stroke count. Lucy Ma just nailing it by the smallest of margins.
That was sensational to watch back on the replay. You can see Ma just timing that final stroke to perfection, really lunging onto the wall. Pachura long on the touch. And unfortunately, it's a tough lesson to learn. 0.01 separating gold to silver. A tough way to be beaten, but I'm sure we'll see her come back stronger in years to come. Here is the B final, though.
Take your marks.
And the girls' B final for the 14 years is in the water. Again, some really strong starts out there by Aneska Mafu and Beth Kelly. That's really hard to split this race, but moving forward, I think it's Charlotte Toe out of lane 4. They're even looking at Sienna Hoare from Rackley in lane 3. Also seeing in the outside lanes there, Ruby Smith from Sydney Uni moving through now. But this one is going to be tight. We've had 3 very tight 50s so far. As we come towards the finish, it might be Ruby Smith out there in lane number 1. And it will be Ruby Smith, 34.36. That is a fantastic swim and a great drop from this morning. The second there will be Renee Lister, who's going to come in with a 34.68. And Amelia Grover there with the 3rd place with a 34.77. So again, we see some fantastic time drops. That's what's so good about these B finals. You can come in, you can get a crack racing under the lights. And the girls have done a really good job there in the 14 years B final for the 50 breaststroke.
Smith surging over the top, as you called it. It's a tough race, the 50 breaststroke. You can overspin it. These athletes doing a fantastic job. We keep the speed though, Alex, as we turn our attention back to the 50-meter end. We saw an exceptionally fast swim this morning in both the 17 years and 18 years. We'll start the way of the 17 years though as we meet our A finalists. A familiar name swimming from lane 4 here. He was prolific in Victoria's attempt to win the state relay on night 1. 22.84 gets lane 4 for Henry Allen of Bendigo East.
Yeah, he's having a cracking meet, Henry Allen. He's a big fella. I mean, a bit taller than I am, and I'm 6'5", so he's got the arms, he's got the length. He's gone very fast over the 200 backstroke this week already. Swam a 22-second 50 freestyle this morning. He was the fastest qualifier. See how fast he can go. I did see he let off the state relay as well and went 22.6. So I feel like he's got a couple of tenths in it. But we will see how he goes tonight. And the rest of the field, a few 23 lows in there, so we could see a few of the boys break that 23-second barrier, which would be fantastic.
We look at the records and pretty good company there. Ollie Moclair breaking the 17 years age record. Junior world champs last year, 22.11 his time. Kyle Chalmers holds the all-comers record, 22.15 back from 2016. Obviously, massive year for Chalmers in 2016, so good company for the 17 years. It's going to take a big effort for Allen and co if they want to get down to that number.
He's adding some very good company up there for Ollie Moclair, Kyle Chalmers, Josh Conius, the title holder last year in a 22.39. See if the boys can get close to that.
Take your marks.
Away cleanly across the field here as they get into action. The 17 years 50 final. And using all of that 15 metres, Henry Allen in 4. You can see him just nudging ahead. Kreutzberger in 7, Screen in 8, really trying to challenge for the lead. In fact, it is Kreutzberger and Allen out in lane 2 as well. We have Hassel. It's not going to be enough, though. The great man, the big man, gets it done. 22.58. Can you believe it? faster than the relay let off, faster than this morning, and a very fast time indeed. He wants every bit of the relay action that could come this year. Henry Allen lighting it up, 22.58.
Yeah, fantastic swim there from Henry Allen. As you mentioned, a bit faster than that relay lead off earlier in the week. And he's just utilised that long underwater there, popped up right on the 15. Some really nice long strokes. I dare to say there was even a glide in there at the end, so he can potentially go a little bit faster if everything goes to plan. But 22.58 from the 17 years, that's a cracking swim.
When you're 6'7", 6'8" like he is, you can always count on a bit of a glide. I don't think there was many strokes in there for Henry Allen.
No, not at all. Man, if he even dared to take a half stroke then, he's got big, long arms, so who knows where he would have ended up. But also a cracking swim there from Fred Hassel, breaking the 23-second barrier, 22.88. So a big drop from this morning, so congrats to him.
And Declan Simpkins on the podium as well as we turn our attention to the B final.
Take your marks.
And the B final for the boys 50 is underway. Looking towards the middle of the pool, it was a fantastic start there from Bruce Shen out in lane 5 for the New Zealand club. He's got the green togs on and he is absolutely flying. As we're moving down to the finish now, he rocketed off the blocks and he's continued that momentum, and he will get to the wall first in a 22.98. So that is a fantastic effort there from Bruce Shen to get under that 23-second barrier. Second place there from Jeff Honor in 23.71. We have got a tie for third in that B final, Harrison Reed and Bart Operich, 23.74. But wow, that was a fantastic swim there from Bruce Shen. He just rocketed off the blocks and did not stop. Moved through that middle part of that race really nicely. A massive time drop from this morning as well.
Yeah, you don't often see that from heats to finals in the 50 freestyle. Almost a full second there for Bruce Shen. 23.80 this morning, 22.98, but he was pretty happy with the result. Big New Zealander ready to race should the time come for him as well. So that was the 17 years, boys. Now, Alex, one of the events circled in tonight's program, the boys 18 years. Ollie Moclair, 21.73. It would have broken the junior world record this morning. Unfortunately for Ollie Moclair, he's 18 in August, so he's aged out of this world record. But what a swim. You're talking faster than anyone's ever swum at that age, faster than Michael Andrew, and faster than Nikita Sherman, who won gold at last year's Junior World Championships.
Yeah, it is an amazing swim from this morning, and probably one that was maybe unexpected and flew a little bit under the radar. And he did go 22.0 earlier in the year, so he was obviously going to try and crack that barrier. But as you get into these 50s, even dropping 0.1, 0.2 gets harder and harder. So to drop 0.3, it's an amazing effort, and I dare say we could be on for another cracking swim tonight.
What time tonight excites you?
Mate, the 21.7 from this morning excites me, so anything lower than that will be pretty impressive.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the clock as well. There's so much talent in this field. The reigning title holder, swimming from lane 6, Joshua Conius, Somerville House. Good sprint program, that one.
It's a fantastic sprint program. We've got a very famous swimmer that's come out of that program in Mr. Cameron McAvoy, who is the world record holder. Hopefully Joshua won the title last year in a 22.3. Hopefully that swim from Ollie Moclair this morning has spurred him on a little bit. He can try and get a bit faster from his heat swim tonight, but all eyes will be in the centre of the pool tonight.
Take your marks.
So underway here, one of the swims of the night. You can see the big man in 4 getting after it, as well as 6. Joshua Conius is sitting second to Ollie Moclair. The time on the clock, 21.73 this morning. He's absolutely flying in the back stages of the race. It's a race against the clock now as he comes down to stop it. 21.89 the time. Another sub-22 second swim. A good performance. Silito in second. Petronio and Conius tying. I'm not sure quite tying, but a good swim nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a cracking swim, and I almost thought that Alexander Silito was going to push him even further. He looked to be right up there with Ollie Monclair, but to go under 22 seconds twice in one day is absolutely fantastic. Cracking swim. The PB coming into this was 22.0, so to go 2 PBs pretty close together in one day. Good on you, Ollie Monclair, and that is a talent to watch for the future. Alexander Silito coming in second place, 22.55. Joshua Conias, 22.89. So 3 of the lads there under that 23 barrier, 1 under the 22 barrier, and that was pretty special if you're watching from home or if you're watching live. We're going to jump down to have a quick chat with Ollie Monclair here. Talk about his swim from this morning. As we mentioned, faster than the world junior record. But because Ollie is aging up this year, the rules state that he won't be able to crack that one. But still an absolutely cracking swim. 22.73. I'm going to throw to Will now, who has Ollie.
Yeah, on pool deck with none other than the champ, Ollie Monclair. A national title headed your way. How does it feel?
Feels great. Honestly, lost for words after this morning's heat. Just to come and do another 21 is amazing. You know, I can't believe it, but then again, I can't believe it. This whole season, my goal was on 21, and to not even just get it to go to 21.7 straight away, it's a great feeling.
Now we speak about those barriers in swimming. You've been working on that 22 or sub 22.50 freestyle for a while now. To go 21.73 to break the time that took to win the Junior World Championship last year. Was that the goal coming into the meet?
The goal was just to focus on myself, really. I knew I could go 21, just depend on how low I could get it in the 21s. Like, obviously, I did want to go fast tonight, but that's not the goal. The goal is always trials, but it's always good just to, you know, look back and see how far I've come.
So we've seen that barrier broken now, the 22 seconds. We just saw the 21 seconds broken by Cam McAvoy. Is that where you're headed next? Do we want to see at trials 21 what can we expect?
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking to go as far as I can, jump that as long as I can. I just want to say thank you to my coach, Tom Sunter. We've done so much together, and I can't wait to continue. We're going to go forever.
Congratulations, Ollie Monclair, you're Australian champion.
Ollie Monclair there, ripping effort to crack the 22-second barrier. He was 21.8 tonight, 21.7 this morning. It's extremely fast, and I dare say the men's 53 is heating up. We've got none other than Cam McAvoy in the opens. Jamie Jack is flying. To get another young fella under 22 is very, very good.
Take your
Move
marks.
to the B final now. And the boys' B final is off and racing. Really strong underwaters there from Tristan Waugh from Knox Pimble in the middle of the pool. But it is a splash and it is a dash. It is going to be Tristan Waugh moving forward fast. I'm also looking at lane 2, Ethan Slatter. Brodie Smith moving well too. But Tristan Waugh just moving towards the wall. And he will touch first in 23.11. It's a great time drop from this morning. It will be Dylan Clive in 23.3. And Sam Welsh, 23.36 as well. So only 0.01 there, separating third and second. Fantastic effort there. I dare say those lads would have been watching on the A final. Getting some inspiration moving forward. That's what it's all about at the B final. You get to watch the A final there. See how they're tracking.
Very happy dad on pool deck as well there. Sam Welsh across the line in third. You can see getting some expert advice directly after. That's what you want to see on at the Australian Age Champs.
It is. It's good that we have the coaches here on pool deck as well. Get some instant feedback. Not sure if that's what you really want, really. Depending on how you swam, to be honest. I know I wouldn't have fancied some instant feedback with some of my races back in the day, but I'm sure it's good having them there cheering the athletes on. So we move towards some longer distance butterfly now, the 17 years girls 200 fly. We got a swimmer from the US who's qualified first, Alba Arnal. Good to see some international visitors here, Will.
Yeah, she was not only just here, but dominating this morning, 2:14.44. It's always a little bit tougher for those visitors to make it through to the finals. Only 2 visitors allowed in per final. We've reserved 8 spots for our Aussies, but Arnell showing up, 2:14.4 in this morning. The time it took to win last year, though, 2:11.80 by Michaela Berg. That is a very strong win. I'd love to see some of these athletes getting down there. I think Amelie Smith probably leads the charge out of lane 5. Rocky City, she's had a big program. Just managed the heat a little bit this morning, but good result to end up in lane 5. Another chance for gold here as the girls 17 years hits the water for the 200 butterfly. Amelie Smith enters in lane 5 as the great Australian hope out of Rocky City. But USA Club represented in 4 through Alba Arnell. And you can see them positioning themselves in this opening 50, all about setting up that secure speed.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Will, and they've got off pretty nicely here. 200 butterfly is a very tough race. You don't want to overdo it too early. Just settling into your rhythm, settling into your stroke rate. And Amelie Smith taking this one on, 29.42, and having a really strong underwater here. We do love a good Aussie versus USA battle. Obviously, Alba Arnell from the US. Dropping a little bit behind now. It is Smith. He's moved towards about a body length lead here. As she approaches that 100-metre mark, she's looking nice and strong.
Delta Cross sort of looks the best of the chasers. We saw her really work that second and third 50 this morning. The Highlanders athlete better into the turn there. Amelie Smith, a little bit of a lag, but 102.90 is an impressive opening 100.
It is indeed. She's looking really nice. And as I mentioned, got about a body length there over Delta Cross. Alba Arnell dropping back just a touch. The 34-second split here. But we do know this race is so tough. It is a long way to go. 200 metres of butterfly. The girls are looking good. Pretty strong there. I dare say Delta Cross making a little bit of a move here on this third 50. But Amelie Smith doing a great job of holding her off. It's all going to come down to this final wall. Holding those underwaters a little bit. And just using everything that you've got to get your hand on the wall first. It is Smith that's come out in front still. Delta Cross moving up now. Alba Arnell has just dropped back a little bit, but Smith giving it a red-hot crack now and moving forward. She's got about half a body length here on Delta Cross as they come in for the last 15 metres.
As we say that, here comes Cross, almost level with Amelie Smith with just 15 metres to go. Rocky City looking down the chance of another national title, and it's going to fall that way. Amelie Smith with all the answers, hitting the wall, 2:13.41. Delta Cross in second. Just half a second off the win. Arnell rounding out the top 3. Eva Gaske in lane 6, rounding out the Australian podium. But what a swim from Amelie Smith of Rocky City. They have been prolific in the tougher events this week, and she's delivered once more with a 2:13.41. Delta Cross, a great effort, really resilient through that race. She pushed hard on that third 50, but ultimately the experience of the Rocky City athlete just too good for the field.
Yeah, she's having a cracking week, Amelie Smith. Have knocked up a few wins here already, adding another one to the books there. 2:13, pretty solid. Just looking at that Australian record there, it's Elizabeth Decker's pretty seasoned 200-metre butterfly swimmer in a 2:07 there. So that's a cracking record as well. But the girls have done a fantastic job tonight. Another national title there for Amelie Smith. Delta Cross really putting in a fantastic effort as well. I'd love to see the time drops as well. So Delta Cross 2:17 this morning. Amelie Smith 2:16. They've dropped about 3 and 4 seconds. A few of the girls in a little bit of pain as they exit the water. So I can imagine a 200 fly would make you feel a little bit of that lactate in the legs.
Yeah, there's no such thing as an easy 200 butterfly.
Absolutely not.
We'll see how the 18-year-olds attack it here. The junior Pan Pac qualifying time, 2:13.10. So Amelie Smith just outside that time. She's been under it already, I believe, in the 400 metres freestyle. So she certainly put her hand up for selection. Delta Cross just around that mark as well. But here comes the opportunity for the likes of Raffaello Capello in lane 4 for St. Andrews, as well as Rachel Allen out of lane 3.
Yes, indeed. Another visitor here from New Zealand Swimming Club's Anthony Miller. as I've mentioned. A few international representatives here at this Australian Age Championships. They do love to come over. We've got such a strong history of racing well at these Age Championships. I dare say these girls would have been watching that 17-year-olds final saying, that's the benchmark we've got to hit now.
Yeah, for sure, they'll be looking at what it's going to take to get on to the Junior Pan Pacific team. They can get under the time, they'll put their hands up for selection. 4 laps ahead of them, as well as a national title up for grabs. A great start across the field as we work through the first 15 metres. You're on the eyes there of Capello in lane 4. St. Andrews well represented in this 200 butterfly, and you can see the intent already starting to show through the first 25 metres. Capello leads Van Selm out in lane 1.
Yeah, she's really put her hand up and said, I'm going to take this race on. And you love to see it in a 200 like that. So Capello approaching the wall. She will touch in 29.59. And she's looking very strong. She was the fastest qualifier this morning by about 3 seconds. And about 5 seconds to the next fastest Australian competitor. And she is taking it on. As we mentioned, that junior panback time of 2:13.1 will be on her mind as she moves forward now, looking really nice and high in the water. She's got a nice solid kick. It's all about settling into your rhythm, keeping that stroke rate. Sure, they do a lot of work holding these 50s at training as she approaches the 100-metre wall now in a 102.76. It was Emily Smith in the 17 years turning in a 102 as well. So it could be on track for around a 2:13. We'll see how she moves through the back half of this race.
All comes down to this third 50, of course, just keeping that rating really high. She went out in that second 50 with a really high rating. You can see just fading slightly through that stroke rate, but still keeping those high hips, driving herself forward, setting up for this last turn. She's going to have to do it all by herself. She's cleared out by almost 5 metres with 50 metres to come.
Exactly right, and she's moving through. What she got left here is going to hold the underwaters. I'm certain she's in a little bit of pain, but this is an extremely tough race, and she will have to tough this one out. She's put her hand up at the start of the race and said, I'm going to take this on. I've just seen the 2:13 from the 17 years. That is the benchmark, and she is looking very solid as she's moving down towards the last 15 metres now.
So here it is, the chance to be crowned the Australian champion. She's all but secured it. The time now is the important factor. 2:13.1 we watch as she comes under the flags to stop the clock. It's going to be just there. 2:14.35. The Australian champion is Rafaela Capello from St. Andrews. Second goes the way of Miller. Third goes to Allen out of lane 3. Hussein in fourth, the third Australian across the line with a 2:20.24 for Surrey Park. That wraps up the action there in the girls' 200 metres butterfly. A fantastic result as we see Capello going through those rhythms all the way to the wall.
Yeah, it was a really strong swim, wasn't it? It was right from the start, making her intention known that she was going to take this national title. And in the end, it was all about the time. The other girls doing a really, really solid job as well, but Capello there cracking that 2:14.35. Bit of a drop from this morning as well, which we always love to see. She looks a little bit tired there, but I can imagine that would be the case. I think I only ever swam one 200 fly in my career, and it wasn't very pleasant, I dare say.
It's never an easy event to do, but they make it look so classful, and Capello doing a fantastic job as we keep the action in the pool. We move now to the boys 15-16 years 50-metre breaststroke, and we welcome the first of a couple events here. This is the 15 years A final ready to go. We also welcome into the commentary booth Emily Seaborn and Matt Welsh.
Moving on to the next event on the program. We've had some thrilling 50s so far, and still so many more to come as we have a look at the boys 15 years 50 metres breaststroke. This is your A final. Hoa Stott's there in lane number 5. He holds a couple of those Australian records. As a 14-year-old, he's now in that 15-year-old age group. He's in that second fastest spot so far in that lane 5. Xavier Eagle out of lane 4, your fastest qualifier this morning, just by 0.9 there in front of Koa Stotts. He's in that time of 29.53, 29.62 for Koa Stotts there. And your Australian record holder, Christopher Montana, which we'll see in the older age group, he holds the record in that 28.47. A very fast time. And we'll see what these boys can produce, see if they can go that second faster from this morning as they hop on the blocks right now.
Take your marks.
And the boys are in the water. This is your 50-metre breaststroke final. Some great split strokes from those boys off the blocks, looking very strong. This Koa Stotts in 5, powering through in those first 25 metres. He comes down to 25 metres to go, and he's in front and taking that lead and extending it now as he comes down under the flags. Torrent looking great in 3, holding on to that second position over Eagle there in 4, but Koa Stotts takes it out 28.332, and he breaks that Australian record there. What a swim for Koa Stotts. Colin Tarrant there taking that second position, 29.34, and Eagle with that third position, 29.43. But what a swim from Koa Stotts out of lane 5, really dominating that breaststroke.
What a swim that was, Koa Stotts. We've seen so many Australian records broken already this meet. Christopher Montana held that. He's up next, but the record falls here for Stotts. His record was broken last night in the boys' 14 years 100 breaststroke. So we'll hear from Stotts in a second. He's absolutely stoked with that, as he very much deserves to be. 28.32 at just 15 years of age. He's absolutely obliterated the record. 28.47. Drop almost 0.2 of a second off the time. Simply sensational swimming. Absolute privilege to see the best of the next generation take to the pool. Absolute privilege to hear from them as well. Let's go down to Koa Stotts.
Mate, what a swim that was. Australian record. Did you expect that tonight?
I always hope for it, but it was so nice to see on the board. I actually didn't read it properly, but it was so nice when I heard it over the loudspeaker that I got it. I was so happy.
It was fantastic. You really dominated from that start and extended that lead through that 50. Is that something you really work on, is those starts and the power off the block?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to a next-gen breaststroke camp down in Canberra with the top breaststrokers, and that really helped my start. That really helped so much, actually.
Well, you dominated that Australian record, and we love to watch it. Congratulations.
Oh, great to see Koa Stotts, and embraced by not only his teammates but his competitors as well. What a moment that was. So great to hear MC Bomb with Koa Stotts. We get to watch more action, the B final up next.
No wonder he won that. He was ginormous. He was ginormous and could get to that wall so much quicker than anyone else. But what a swim that was. And another Australian record tonight. I honestly didn't think we had more in the tank, but we do.
We're creating these giants, and giants once again in the pool.
This is your B final of those 15-year-olds in the 50 breaststroke. Off to a cracking start is our swimmer in number 8 there. Spencer doing a great job in this breaststroke as those boys in the middle lanes are now fighting back. So Zhang there in 4 doing a great job of this breaststroke. Those outside lanes looking very strong as they come down under the flags now. It's a very tight battle in this 50 as we can see who gets their hand on the wall. It's 31.05, ever so slightly, just narrowing out that lane number 5.
Well, good luck if you picked that winner, because 2/100 of a second is very hard to spot with the naked eye. 31.05 plays 31.07, 31.19. That really was a close finish. in the B final of the boys' 15 years.
And they are your B final results on the screen. They are official. A great job from those boys coming back from this morning and firing in that 50-metre breaststroke. As we have a look at the next final on offer, this is your 16-year-old boys 50-metre breaststroke, and we might see another Australian record in this one, won't we, Welshie?
Yeah, we've had some incredible swims already. These 50s especially, we're finding more and more pressure, I guess. You know, it's very easy to say that, you know, because they're now in the Olympic program, people are putting more focus on them, but they've got to get out and swim it, and they're absolutely annihilating it. So the 50 breaststroke now, we can see the Australian record there. So for the 16 years, 28.32.
From our swimmer out of lane number 4, done this morning, Welshie, and he was only 0.09 in front of his record that he had before that. So he has a very strong dominance in those breaststroke events. And his record as a 14-year-old has just been taken as a 15-year-old from Kia Stotts just then. Kia Stotts just absolutely just smashed it with that 28.32 just before.
Absolutely incredible. Almost every swim is getting close or passing that national mark. It's great to see the progression. Records are meant to be broken, and we want to see these records moving on year after year as we get faster and faster. So our team gets stronger to take it to the world as we get ready for this A final, the 16 years, 50 breaststroke.
Take your marks.
So off in this A final, very strong underwater there from Chris Montana. He is absolutely on song. Look at him. Halfway through, not even halfway through, and he's got half a body length on the rest of the field. Williams, Tan right next to him are going hard. Caden Gui as well, but it is Montana. So 5 metres left to swim. Let's see how fast he can go. 28.32 this morning. A 27.84. 27.84. Absolutely incredible.
What a swim that was. Christopher Montana breaking that Australian record, 27.84. A fantastic breaststroke swim and absolutely dominated that one. Williams with that silver in that 28.98, and Tan with the bronze medal, 29.03. What a swim that was. Absolutely smashing his Australian record from this morning. That 27.84, just a fantastic breaststroke. As we look at that replay, he really was able to just keep extending on that lead. He really dominated from the start and just powered to that wall. And that 27.84, not only just going under that 28, but 28.84. So a fantastic job for that 50, as Matt has him on deck right now.
I'm down here with Chris Montana after a very big morning swim break, and then again tonight. Did you realise you had a 27 in you tonight?
No, not really. Just coming into that race, just thinking of what I have to improve on. And I had like 2 things in my mind, and I didn't really focus on the time, just like the execution.
The breaststroke is almost a contradiction in terms. It's such a, you got to have a good hold and everything. You can't really muscle it. Do you find it hard finding that balance? I guess you don't, but that balance between power and gentleness almost, you know, like working on the technique.
I mean, it's really easy to overdo it, you know, like spin and all that, and that's something I've been working on for a while. Yeah, just need to find that balance between stroke rate and power, you know.
Well, it was an amazing swim tonight. Obviously, a huge Australian record, 27 point, incredible. I'll go let you digest that and talk it through with your coach, because that is quite incredible. But congratulations, the latest Australian champion. Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
He certainly does have the strength and power, and he showed that tonight with that 27.84, smashing that Australian record, and just another record is out of the books. We've seen so many records been broken here at the Australian Age Championships, and still so many swims to come where we can see more records fall. As we have a look now, this is your 16-year-old boys B final of the 50 breaststroke.
Take your marks.
The IFAN racing for the B final. Quite an incredible swim there from Chris Montana in the A final. And a really nice start. Harold Zhu in lane 7. He's got a good half a body length on them at the halfway mark. They're starting to come back at him now. He's doing everything he can to hold on to that lead. Keng in lane 4 and Colin Bent pushing to the wall. Harold holds on, so Zhu gets in at 29.96, breaking the 30-second mark. He did a lot of that work in the first 15. Great start, great underwater, and held it all the way through. And a dominant swim in the end, the only swimmer under 30 seconds. 30.03 for Geng, 30.09 for Collinbat. So a great swim there in the B final as well. And it really is a matter of, if there's an opportunity to break an Australian record, they're taking it. We've seen so many tonight. The 400 IM, though, really stands out as a big one. But got to say that that getting down to Christopher Montana, getting it under 28 seconds or 27 is quite remarkable. Not just, you know, by a hundredth or so. He was well under.
But even Koa Stocks, he was 28.32, so he wasn't far cracking that 28-second barrier either as a 15-year-old. So two great swims back-to-back. As we have a look at the next event on the program, this is your girls, 15 years, 100 metres backstroke A final. And we have a look at the field. We saw Ciara Jeffs earlier tonight in that 200 freestyle. She got a silver. Yeah,
Kira got silver.
That was a fantastic job for Kira in that one.
And she hasn't had a swim yet this championship, so having two finals in one night, it's a tough program.
It's a tough double too.
Yeah, tough double.
200 into the 100 backstroke. Also, our swimmer in lane number 9, Mina Bartonino, was also in that 200 freestyle. So a big night of racing for those two girls, and we'll see who can take the win in this 100 backstroke. Who wants to become the next age champion?
I think the swimmers are finding the night backstroke a little bit easier. The glare from the sun's not there. The lights are there to help a little bit. So I think we should see some quicker times than this morning.
Take your marks.
Off cleanly in the girls' 15 years, 100 metres backstroke. Madison McKenna fastest this morning. Ciara Jeffs fresh off that 200 free silver. Both out well in the middle of the pool. Daisy Dingle looking good as well. Harvey in lane 2 trying to stay with them. But probably Dingle and McKenna now, and McKenna just pushing ahead. So now coming into the 50-metre mark, it's Harvey and Oluwanini just off. Harvey coming in a second, McKenna in first, Kira in third.
McKenna went out this morning in that 31.37, so faster tonight with that 30.67, and she looks beautiful in that centre of the lane mat. She hasn't drifted to that lane rope. She's very centred, so doing a great job and really powering through that last 15 metres. She's got a great body position in the water, and her head's in a great position to get onto that wall first. We'll have a look at that time she can produce at 1:03.26. Jeff's there with another silver medal tonight, that 1:04.11. And Dingle with that third touch, 1:04.51. A great swim from Madison McKenna there to take out that gold medal. And a new age champion, that 1:03.26.
Oh, happy she got a smile in there, because that was a great swim. She really made it in that third 25 off the wall, and then fairly consistent with the speed of those around her in the last 25, but really made the ground in that off the wall back to the mid. part of the pool. So results there for our A final of 15 years.
And it really came down to that second 50. Her second 50 was half a second faster than anyone else in that field. So she really had such a strong back end, and that's what won her that race there. So Madison McKenna, your new age champion in the 100 metres backstroke.
Helps having the fastest first 50 as well. So she really did put together a fantastic race.
As we have a look now, this is your B final ready to go, your 15-year-old girls.
Now we often see this in the backstroke, and you're watching at home, have a look. When they say take your marks, they should all come up evenly, but there's always a few little games. Let's see if they're played again in this B final. So away cleanly for the B final of the girls' 15 years 100 metres backstroke. Nice long underwater there from Corbett in lane 4. Dunbar staying with as best as she can. Really nice out in lane 7. Kamanzuli, she's looking very good at this stage. Also lane 2, Vaccaro. So between lane 2 and lane 7, they probably can't see each other in the pool at this stage. So Kamanzuli from Vaccaro, then Kazda in lane 6. Now second fastest qualifier, Mia Dunbar, turns last. So we're looking for a really strong second 50 from the middle of the pool, because at the moment it's the outside lanes that are taking charge. Kamanzuli absolutely killing it in lane 7 with 5 metres to go. I don't think anyone's going to catch her with a 104.89. She touches first. Vaccaro holds on to second beautifully with a 106.13. Third through was Kazda with a 106.36. And fourth was Wall over on the far wall, lane 0. 106.39.
Great job from our swimmer from Miami to take out the B final in that 104.89. Really dominated from that first 50 from out of lane 7 too. We don't often see that. As we have a look at the next event on the program.
Charlie and Molly got to be swimming somewhere.
Well, there's Molly Young in that 1500 later in that program, so maybe Molly Young. As we have a look, this is your 16-year-old girls 100 metres backstroke A final. We see Heidi Schumack, who does the butterfly, now into the backstroke. She was very dominant in the 200 backstroke, 200 butterfly last night.
Macy Sheridan, she's definitely had a lot of success in numerous events at these Australian Age Championships. Last year she was a very common fixture on the dais.
She's been very strong since she first burst into the scene as a 13-year-old at the Age Championships, really dominating the backstroke and the freestyle. I mean, we don't see many swimmers from Darwin, so it's fantastic when we do see these swimmers from Darwin doing a great job and really exciting things. So I'm excited to see how she will go out of lane number 2.
And here she is being presented to the crowd, putting the win in Darwin. This is the A final. Those names are from the previous race, so we do have the 16 years A final now.
Take your marks.
16 years A final is away. And beautiful long underwaters from the girls, really showing off their skills. Getting the best of that start was Kelsey Corbett in the middle of the pool. She's got a nice lead from Crean and Mello right next to her. Lee, Sheridan on their shoulders. A nice swim from Sheldrick in the outside lane 9. She's pushing herself up as high as she can. As Schumack turns first in a 29.83. Crean followed Mello through second. Crean in third. Sheldrick in that outside 9 in for fourth. And Sheridan touching through in fifth. But it is all Heidi Schumack at this stage. She went through in 29.30. Fastest at the 50, and now she's putting together an even more dominant second 50 with 5 metres to go. She's clearly going to win. We'll see what the margin is, though. She's gone to 101.20 to take out the A final for the 16-year-old. 100 metres backstroke. Second to the wall, Crean. She had a great second 50, one of the fastest in the field. Mello in for third, Sheridan in fourth, and then Lee taking out fifth. So with a time of 31.37 in that second 50, it was Heidi Schumack who had the fastest back 50. And Allegra Crean was only hundredths of second behind that. So fantastic second 50 there from our first and second place getter.
Heidi Schumack taking out another age champion. This time in the 100 metres backstroke, that 101.20 in front of Crean there, and that 102.29, and Mello with a third hand on the wall with the bronze medal, that 103.21, a fantastic result from Schumack. Not only can she swim great butterfly, she can swim great backstroke. She was super strong, had great technique in that backstroke, and was really able to power through that first 50 into that second 50.
So coming up, the girls 100 metres backstroke B final for the 16 years. Some 800 metre swims and 1500, so plenty more action. Make sure you stay with us here on 9 Now as we are live for the Australian Age Championships in the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre. We'll be back right after this break.
Thanks for joining us for 9 Now's extended coverage of the 2026 Australia Age Championships. We have some more electric racing ahead as we look to the pool deck. We welcome out our next final, the B final, the girls' 16 years 100 metre backstroke. We just saw a great performance from Heidi Schumack, and we'll see what these 16-year-olds have to deliver in the B final.
Yeah, that 101.20 from Heidi Schumack to be your age champion as a 16-year-old. What can these B final girls produce tonight?
So away strongly and evenly, but you can see the prowess of lane 4. This McCutcheon of Fiji leading the way through the first 15 metres. The field starting to catch up as we hit the stroke element of the first 25 metres, but it is anyone's game through 25 metres.
It's really anyone's race at this point. McCutcheon holding on for that lead ever so slightly, but very strong. Is a swimmer out of lane 8, turning through first in that 31.23. Really powering through in this backstroke, very much centred in that lane. Fantastic to see as they come down to 25 metres to swim, holding on to that stroke. really trying to hold on to that technique. This is where those middle lanes are fighting back. So McCutcheon out of 4 is really fighting out for that top position as they come down to 15 metres left to swim. She has a battle with her right next to her in O'Connor in 3 and holding strong onto the wall. We'll see who gets their hand on the wall. It is McCutcheon who takes it out over Hamilton at 1:05.31. Hamilton with the second hand on the wall there, that 1:05.39. And O'Connor in that third position, 1:05.46. So great job from those girls in the B final.
And just claiming the win as well there in the B final. Kachin of Fiji. Here her teammates just around the stadium getting behind her, 1:05.31, and she called them to take it home. Great to have the reaction shots of our athletes as they finish, and I think here are Kachin very happy to be on the big screen.
As we have a look at the next event coming up, this is your boys 13 to 14 years 800 meter freestyle. Now, we have no 13-year-olds in this final, so we know that we've already crowned our gold, silver and bronze this morning in the 800 free for the 13-year-olds, but this is the chance for the 14-year-olds to come out here and see what they can do in this final program. It's a big night of racing, the 800 meter freestyle. It's all about staying with that rhythm. Our fastest qualifier in that 8:33.65 from our visitor there. So let's see if our Aussie boys can knock him off.
I do like the way that Archie Wright has approached the program thus far from Mingara out of lane 5. He's been really strong, and the challenge is going to be here in front of him. Did want to just call out, we've been seeing so many records this evening. Don't think we'll see one here. 8:17.46. Mac Horton set back in 2011. An electric time. That 14 years all-comers and age record.
Yeah, that time is pretty fast for these boys, but we know in those distance events, this is where they drop a lot of time in those personal bests. So we'll see if they can drop down from that 8:33 or that 8:45 for right there in lane 5 and see how far they can get under that personal best here tonight. It's a perfect night of racing here at the Age Champs on the Gold Coast as these boys jump on the block.
Take your marks.
So a field full of 14-year-olds, 16 laps in between them and a national title. Chua enters the water as a heavy favourite, 8:33.65 his entry time, and you can see the experience of that coming through the first 25 metres. Archie Wright on his flanks, but the best of the starts looks to have come out of lane 8 through Ashton Bone.
He's doing a really good job of this first 50. Obviously, we know it's about holding that pace together, but he's taking them through in that 28.37. From Engel right next to him in that 28.85. And then Chow with that third turn there, that 29.15. So we might see a lot of changes in this race, or we might not. Bone might be able to hold on as he looks very strong out of lane number 8. You can see Chow making his move in 4 now as we come to that 100-metre turn. He will take out that first 100 in that 1:00.22. And Penny in that second position in that 00.82. Bone now in that third position, 00.89.
I love watching the 14-year-olds approach this 800 freestyle. We can often see some fireworks. They get a little bit excited here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre with the lights turned on. We've seen Thomas Penny already come away with some gold here on the Gold Coast. So potentially some fireworks early on. It has been a mature approach from most of the field, but you can see 132.26 through the 150 mark. They are starting to settle into that rhythm now.
Thomas Penny out there in lane 2, looking pretty solid. But it is Chua at the moment, looking very comfortable. You can see the glide coming out, so he's nice and long out in front. He's not over-rating it all, and that means that the rate that his arms are moving through the water, we call that a stroke rate. So seems to be pretty low at the moment, and means that he's holding a good amount of water there. And the kick is nice and relaxed as well. We often see that in these distance races where the boys and the girls won't overkick. Won't be a massive splash. It's predominantly arms. I trained with a few distance swimmers, and they were very, very good at the pull. So they wanted to save their legs for the back end of this race. So at the moment, it is Chua moving through from Singapore, looking very comfortable. But Thomas Penny out there from Sydney Uni looking very solid as well. Keeping in touch. He's about a body length behind at the moment. Move over as well to Archie Wright from Mingara. Looking pretty solid. Nice smooth strokes.
As we look at the top three, Alex, sorry to cut you off there, but as we look at the top three, we've got three incredibly different techniques. You see Chua on the screen now, really relaxed through both arm strokes, no clear domination from one side. Thomas Penny really loping through, and even more so is Archie Wright sitting in third, a more traditional surf or open water stroke coming from Ngara. What's the secret to different strokes?
I guess with these distance swimmers, it is about holding water and getting distance. And quite often you'll see very scrappy, fast, loping kind of stroke. And I'm reminded of Gregorio Palterini, an Olympic champion from Italy. He swam a circle swimming around the pool in a very choppy stroke, didn't really kick, his legs would cross over, but he was so efficient in holding that water, in holding that stroke. And I'm reminded of Chewy here with his nice long strokes. He's not overrating, he's not swinging the arms, he's keeping it all very nice and controlled. So I guess with these distance races, it is about just holding on and seeing what your body can produce and seeing what your arms can produce.
You talked to it this morning, Em, that this is not just a battle of physical, also mental. When you think of Gregorio Paltrineri, he's certainly one of the sports scientists' worst nightmares, but one of the sports psychologist's best patients. So it's not all physical.
No, it's very much that mental battle, and these boys are doing a great job in this 800 to mentally stay in it. Chow doing a great job in 4, but also Penny in lane 2, really fighting with him, not letting him get too far ahead, because I think the moment you let them get too far ahead, they're too far for you to catch up. So he's really trying to hold on to him and not let him get too far in front. But looking strong is right in lane number 5 in that third position, really trying to hold on to those front 2 leaders.
Who else could potentially be battling here for some minor medals, of course, with Chua and Penny. They're both visitors. So the actual Australian leader is Archie Wright in lane 5. And we can't forget this morning, of course, some fast 14-year-olds competing over the distance. So 500 metres swum, 300 to come. It is Chua from Singapore leading us through. Archie Wright leading the Australians. Ashton Bone, the best of the chasers, and he's actually swimming a slightly bit faster than Archie Wright.
Yeah, Chua putting in a really solid effort here. He looks to be holding around 32 mids. He's just picked it up a slight bit. Thomas Penny sitting around those 32s. He's just dropped back to about a 33 split. So as they move through the halfway point of this race, you really want to see them picking it up just a touch. The 800 is one of those ones where it's not quite a 1500, so you tend to go out a little bit faster and try and bring the legs in towards the back end of this race. We'll see what Chua does here. He's been relaxing those legs throughout the whole race so far. It looks to be like he's starting to get a little bit of a kick up, so it could be that he's trying to negative split this race. So the second 400 will be faster than the first.
He does look like a monster on those short rest sessions. I'm sure he's done plenty of kilometres to get prepared for these Australian Age Championships. It's been great to see the visitors filtering through tonight's finals, and they could be stealing one of the final events of the show in a second. As we get ready here on the screen, you can see one of the competitors. That is Archie Wright. He's leading the Australians for Mingara. He's actually storming through the field. So a big last 50 there, 32.7 for Wright. He should pull into second position at this turn.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He's made up some ground on Thomas Penny. He's keeping the splits fairly consistent at those 33 lows, 32 highs. Thomas Penny has gone up a little bit to those 33 mids. So slowly getting that gap shorter and shorter. But it is our visitor from Singapore looking fairly dominant at the moment. The stroke's been nice and long the whole way. Really solid technique, holding water very well. As we move towards the last 100 metres of this boys 13 to 14, 800 freestyle, and Chua 7:29. As you can see, he's bringing those legs in now. He's been holding them off for most of the race. But also look out there at Archie Wright, who has picked the pace up substantially. He's got the big 6-beat kick going. The boys want to finish this race off really strong.
Well, it's all on the line here. Chua obviously representing Singapore club. But if we look across the field, Thomas Penny, a South African, so he entered in as a visitor, but he does represent Sydney University as well. So this, not only the battle for the Australian title, but also for New South Wales bragging rights, as Mingara's Archie Wright is well and truly now in front of Sydney Uni's Thomas Penny. But there's no doubting the win will come to lane 4. Avel Chua committed to the race from the very first stroke, and he's going to be rewarded with it here with a fantastic performance as he comes down to stop the clock in the new personal best time, 8:32.42. The gold medal for Australia goes the way of Archie Wright of Mingara, 8:36.51, and Thomas Penny rounds out the top 3 across with an 8:41.34. What a performance in the boys' 14 years 800 metres freestyle. What a performance from Archie Wright. He timed that to perfection.
That was a fantastic swim there from Archie Wright. As I mentioned, that back end of the race, the second 400, looked to negative split that, and his split show, he was about 32, so we're bringing it down the whole way, and then moved down to those 31s and 30, so a massive last 100 there from Archie Wright to win the national title, be the first Australian to the wall. Avel Chua putting in a great effort there. You'll just love to see the time drops in these time finals because they don't get to swim in the morning. They don't have these heats quite often. That is their PBs. So to see the times come down and the boys to get their PBs, hit the reset button, set a new benchmark for themselves, it's always good to see.
I honestly thought Archie Wright had too much left at the end of that race. He was really catching Chua there, and I thought maybe he should have started that little bit earlier, but he will take that gold medal. Penny in the silver. Also in the silver was Adam Dunn and Ingle with that bronze medal as those 2 visitors. They get the medals, but so do our Aussies as well. So a great effort from those boys. As we have a look now, this is your girls 13 to 14 years 1500 metre freestyle final. So we see 2 of our competitors are 13 years of age. So we know there will be a medal from this morning's results for the 13-year-olds, and the 14-year-olds are battling it out for gold, silver and bronze tonight.
And they are in the middle of the pool, the 13-year-olds. So they're setting the bar fairly high. And we do have another visitor from the Singapore team, Sarah Sim. But we'll look to see who wants to take this one out. We saw a visitor from Singapore, Avel Chua, in the previous race, put his hand up pretty early on, established some solid speed. He's settled in for the rates. And that's what these 1500s are about, really settling into your stroke, setting into a good rhythm.
So our 2 fastest swimmers are our 13-year-olds in that 17:11.72 and that 17:22.45. Our fastest 13-year-old this morning, Sienna Teven, in that 18:02.47. So she'll be hopefully watching on to this broadcast and seeing what medal she gets tonight.
She may even be in the crowd watching on to really see what it's like.
Take your marks.
So 30 laps ahead of us in the girls 13 to 14 years, 1500 freestyle. That's the 2 13-year-olds, as we said, Molly Young and Mia Hu, both from Carlisle. 4 Carlisle swimmers in this final, so sure these girls spend a fair bit of time training for this event together and working together to improve their times. Final heat of day 3's final swim.
Young and Hu battling it out in those middle lanes as they come down to that 100-metre turn. They turned through in that 30-point, and they turned through in that 102.90, 103.46. So not much in it, but battling it out with each other. I'm sure they train with each other every day. And they must have some great battles in the pool. So they're taking it to the competition pool tonight here at the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre and really fighting it out against those 14-year-olds.
Yeah, they would train next to each other every single day, and they found themselves next to each other in this final. So this timed final, we compare the times with this morning, 150 metres in. It's Molly Young holding out Mia Hu. Hannah Jameson in lane 6 in for 3rd. Weston 4th. And Sim in 5th.
Fairly new event on the program, the women's 1500, only introduced in the Olympics fairly recently. So it's good to see the young girls having a crack at it, really testing themselves, testing their training. I dare say the girls from Carlisle would have done some Ks together in the pool in the recent years. Molly Young is still moving through with her training partner Mia Hu, and her other training partner, Hannah Jamison, as well. So Carlisle doing a fantastic job at this meet. They're leading the point score so far. So we've seen some really solid swims from the squad there. And this race is no different. Molly Young has put in a pretty good 50 there to get herself about a body length and a half lead. Looking to hold around those 34s. So it'll be interesting to see if the girls have the same tactics as well in this race, coming from the same squad, or have they been given different advice based on their strengths?
Well, it's a good point you make there, Alex. Obviously, coming from the same squad, the coach has got 4 swimmers in. Now, I'm sure he doesn't mind which one does what, but he's going to have either 4 different race plans for them or potentially the same race plan, and let's see who executes it the best.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Obviously, in the 1500, you can approach it in different ways. You can break it up by 500s, which athletes so often do, and try and descend those 500s. So start off pretty solid, get into a nice rhythm. The second 500 a little bit quicker, and then see what you've got on the last 500. But Molly Young doing a pretty good job so far, holding those 34 lows to 34 mid. She's making a little bit of a gap between her training partner Mia Hu, but also out there Sarah Sim, our visitor from the Singapore club, potentially a training partner of Avel Chua from the boys, who just took out the 800. So they've got a pretty good distance pedigree from Singapore, it seems.
They're coming down now to the 400-metre mark. And very consistent swimming. It's what you want in a 1500. They want to start off always managing your energy, but get yourself out into a little bit of clean water. So that first 100, just find your pace and find your space. And then try to hit copy-paste as many times as you can. It's what we're seeing here. We saw that with Sam Short. It was a fantastic 1500 he had at the Australian Open. And so consistent he was through all of those 50s. We're seeing that with each of the swimmers here. Molly Young doing the best of it at this stage, as we're almost at the 1/3 mark. So coming down to the turn for the 500-metre mark, it's Molly Young in first place, then Mia Hu, Hannah Jameson in 3rd. Tie actually for Sim and Jameson for 3rd. That's how close they are, but Sim maybe marginally in front coming down to this 500-metre turn. Fifth through was Weston, then Finlay, Pettigrew, Barr, Demetria Du-Pierce, and Good out in lane 9. So it is Sim who's just made a little bit of a margin on Jamison, and maybe this middle 500 is where she's going to make her push.
We've spoken about this a lot with the 1500, how you break it down. Do you break it down in those 3 500s? Do you break it down into the 200s? How would you talk to an athlete on the coach's side of things, Welshie, for a 1500?
I guess it starts not on race day. It starts at the start of the preparation, and you'd have a long-term view of how you're going to work it. Obviously, there's a few different things you have to train. You've got to do system training, where we're actually working on that aerobic ability to hold that pace at a long time. You've got your technique training to make sure that not only are you making as efficient as you can, but also managing injury. The amount of miles, the amount of laps, the amount of times those arms rotate over. If you are having a bit of internal rotation in your arm as you roll it over, and you do that thousands of times a day, you're bound to get a bit of a problem. And then all of a sudden that shoulder problem becomes the main focus of the preparation and trying to work around it, working with physios, etc. So there's a lot of things you've got to train. And then obviously the pace work. So they would be doing 50s, 100s, 200s, up to 500s, and even some 1000s potentially in training. But they'd be doing big chunks of work trying to hit a certain pace. That then leads into race day, where you would say, okay, we're going to start out at the pace that we've been training at in this bit, then we're going to move to this part of training that we've been working at, and go through the race that way. So it's not really race day where you make it up. It's the start of the preparation where you come up with a plan, and then you practice that plan and you prepare for today. And this is the culmination of all of that work. So it's great to see Young taking them through at that 700-metre mark. We're almost halfway through. Real battle for second. Almost bang on that 8-minute mark is Sim in second, who from Carlisle in lane 5 in third, Jamison in fourth, and then a big gap back to fifth. So Pettigrew leading the best of the rest, and there is almost a line across the pool for fifth down to 10th. And these 4 girls in the middle of the pool have really stretched themselves out and away from the rest. And obviously Molly Young doing the best of that at the exact halfway mark.
Yeah, Sarah Sim there just dropped off the pace, but she was holding around half-second quicker splits than Molly Young. So reduce that gap a little bit there. But Molly seemed to kick forward again. So we're talking about race plans potentially splitting up by the halfway point as well. But Molly looking really strong here. Not over-kicking either. And we said this in the boys 800 just before. We saw Chua not kicking at all and really bringing in those legs in the last 800. And you often see that distance swimmers are really, really good at pull. So they do a lot of work with paddles. They hold their legs up, they work their body position, and that's so they can have the ability to bring in those legs at the later parts of the race and really kind of drop the hammer and drop the time and get on the wall.
Yeah, you've got to have some strength through the shoulders. And if you're going to be doing 30 laps of your best swimming. So very consistent swim still. You called it before, Alex, with those 34 mid swims, and she's still doing exactly that. That last 50, 34.5. And similar swims there from Sim and Hu, but just unable to stick with her every single time. Sarah Sim there in lane 3. She's doing a really good job of coming up alongside. I do feel that gap has come down a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. 10.14 or basically 10.15 on the nose. 200s off anyway. So we're looking at about just over 2 second gap between the two. And then back another 3 seconds to Mia Hu. So we'll keep an eye on how that 2.2 second gap between first and second goes, because Sarah Sim is just marginally faster each 50 and is clawing back tenths of a second at a time. So we're almost down to the 1,000 metre mark. That's 950 on the top. 10 more turns, 10 more laps after they complete this lap. And we'll have a look at the times being put down. So each time Sim is just marginally faster than Young, but so minute that it will take a few laps to find that speed. Mihu just being dropped off a little bit by these two out in front. And again, Molly Young turning in a 34.9 rather, and a Sim in a 34.3. So she's taken best part of 2/3 of a second off Molly Young. And this 1500 is really starting to heat up. Potentially, the pace that Molly Young went out in is really starting to hurt her. Sarah Sim just managing herself a little bit better. She's put herself into a good position. So still 9 laps to go. That gap about 2 seconds. So just on 2 seconds. If she can just pick away about 2 tenths or thereabouts each time, she's going to catch her. And she's doing that now. She's seen the bubbles next to her. She's seeing the feet, and there's huge motivation for her. So Molly Young still out in front. The crowd at the side really cheering Sarah Sim, getting behind their athlete. And she's got about a body length to go, so she's breathing to her right. Now she will be seeing those bubbles coming off the kick of Molly Young. So Sarah Sim moving almost over to the lane rope, try and get some sort of drag off her if she can. Doing everything she can to try and claw back that lead that Molly Young has worked so hard to gain. Now another 1/3 of a second taken by Sim from Young. Mia Hu still holding on for 3rd. Jamison still in 4th. And that big drop back to Pettigrew in 5th. Now let's see that gap now. It's less than 2 seconds. We're looking at about 1.5 seconds. So it's really coming down to the wire. There's only 5 laps to go. And it's going to be a sprint to the end, I feel. They're going to be right next to each other in about 100 metres time. They're going to only have 2 or 3 laps to really sort it out. Has Molly Young saved enough in the tank to do some sort of reaction? Great underwater shots there. Water absolutely crystal clear. You can see doing those butterfly kicks, and it's little things like that that is making the gaps get smaller and smaller between Sim and Young. Look at the support that their teammates are giving. With a very small, handful of laps to go, they are almost neck and neck.
Yeah, you'd love to see this. Molly Young really had the lead, had a few body lengths at the start of the race. As we were talking about those tactics, potentially descending those 500s. Sarah Sim will now challenge for the lead. She is breathing away from Molly Young at this point. So when she flips and comes down the other way, she will be looking at Molly Young, but she is moving up right above the shoulder now, and I dare say she's in front of Molly Young.
Yeah, they're both breathing away from each other, Alex, to make a really good point. So on the final lap, if they are next to each other, they're going to be breathing away from each other, and it's just going to be an absolute blind race.
I know it'll be about who's got the guts coming home, who's got the legs, who's got the arms. It looks to be Sarah Sim moving forward here. But Molly Young isn't going anywhere. The splits have moved just to about even. So maybe Molly Young has seen Sarah Sim there and has spurred her on. And she has even picked up her stroke rate just a little bit more. Sarah Sim looking nice and long at this stage. They're now looking at each other, so the battle is really on here, and it's all going to be who's got the mental toughness to finish this race out.
Now, obviously, Sarah Sim, our visitor, so Molly Young will still be the fastest Australian, but you want bragging rights. Winning the race is what they've come here to do. And at the moment, Sarah Sim really has momentum on her side. There's only 2 more laps to go. The bells are coming out for this turn. This is the absolute business end of this 1,500 metres. It looked like Molly Young was going to absolutely swim away. She was swimming away from everyone, but Sarah Sim has clawed her down, and they turn with 4/100ths of a second away from each other. And it seems to be the turns. Sarah Sim is pushing off. She's doing the underwater kicks. She's just gaining that very small margin on Molly Young, and that's enough to mean that her splits are just that tiny bit more now. So it's an absolute sprint now. There is 65 metres to swim, and it's going to come down to the wire.
This is an absolutely cracking race, and the girls are looking at each other coming down to the last 50 metres, and you are very much right, Matt. Sarah Sim with just the few extra dolphin kicks on the underwater, but Molly Young has led this race throughout the whole 1,500. She is not going anywhere. The support from Team Singapore for their teammate Sarah Sim. Maybe she can hear anything is possible. The crowd is up and about. Molly Young is not going anywhere. She's got the legs. This is going to go right down to the final touch. And it's going to be Molly Young. She has held on for a 17:09.16, and Sarah Sim, our visitor from Singapore, 17:09.26.
What an incredible race.
That was unbelievable.
Everything. The comeback from Sarah Sim. We see the rest come in. So, going down the list, Molly Young led for most of the race, was taken by Sarah Sim. An incredible comeback swim from our visitor. The 2 girls came in. Molly Young with a 7:11. She's taken 2 seconds off her best. Sarah Sim with a 17:27. So she's taken a good 18 seconds off her best. So the absolute clawing back of that lead, and then the overtake with a foot to go. Molly Young gets onto the wall. Mia Hu with a fantastic swim to come in 3rd place, 17:25. Jandasena in 4th. Pettigrew 5th. Good 6th. Barr 7th.
So Sarah Sim in that silver medal, but who will actually get the silver for 2nd Australian? Jamieson with the bronze. So Carlisle 1st, 2nd and 3rd on that 1,500, showing absolute dominance in that distance event. Molly Young, absolutely sensational. She really took it out hard, and we didn't think anyone was going to catch her, and then Sim started to catch her with 500 metres to go, and then it was a battle to that finish. What a fantastic way to finish that program at that 1,500. And what a beautiful swim for Molly Young to be your age champion and take home that gold medal. The 14-year-old girls at 1,500 metre freestyle.
Well, we hope you hung around to watch that final race. If you did, you were awarded to one of the best, a 10th of a second, separating 1st and 2nd on the wall. As you rightly said, Emily, 1st, 2nd and 3rd to Carlisle. The crowd is still going absolutely crazy here in support of Sarah Sim after her enormous swim and huge PB. So that is the end of the finals night here on day 3.
We saw so many records tumble tonight too. It was
many.
fantastic to see. We're seeing some of them right now. Some really dominant swims.
Yeah, some fantastic swimming tonight. Record after record. And PB after PB and championship medals galore. It has been a huge night. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you here on 9 Now. Make sure you join us tomorrow morning. Coverage starting from 9 a.m. for day 4 heats. And we're going all the way through till Saturday. So thanks so much. Thanks to everyone in the crew. Thanks to everyone who brought tonight's production to air. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you to Will. And thank you to MC Vom for bringing it all. We look forward to catching you tomorrow. Have a great night here on 9 Now.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.